All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pre-Bell Breakdown show, episode number 5. Let's see what we have going on this morning. Hope everybody had a great trading day yesterday. Had some Fed speakers. Had Trump speaking as well. Had Jerome Powell speaking. Market took quite a little bit of a nosedive, but nothing too crazy. For Wednesday, September 24th, on the economic calendar, we have nothing crazy except new home sales data coming out at 10 a.m. Eastern. Other than that, there's nothing too significant. So, SPY and QQQ are right underneath equilibrium, it seems, which means Q's is in the center of its previous range, which is not terrible, but doesn't really give too much to work off of. So let me see if you draw high to low. You'll see right here, this is the 50% retracement, and it puts it right around 600 cycle level there on QQQ. So we'll go ahead and mark that real quick with a yellow line and then take this off, and boom. You'll see the word equilibrium. That's right there, and it highlights this little gray zone. So for QQQ, I mean, we're just back to the middle of the previous range. So, I mean, if it keeps rejecting 600, come back here downside. Looks like there's a small gap to fill. Let me see. Pull it up over here on Webull. Q's has a gap to fill down to 598.50. So let's go ahead and mark this right here. We'll highlight the overall area from the overnight session. So Q's is currently right there. We'll draw it down to right there. All right, so you do have a small gap to fill right here. So Q is currently at 599.25, so less than $1 drop downside to potentially fill that gap. Q's breaks and bases back above 600. It can cruise its way back up here to about 601. And then honestly, it looks just like it's like dollar cycle level. Honestly, you got 600, then 601, and then 602 up here near this resistance. This will be from yesterday's price action in the previous day's price action as well for Monday. So nothing too significant that I'm seeing here on QQQ, other than the fact that we are right at equilibrium or rejecting equilibrium going into the open, and there's a small gap to fill below to 598.50. So be watching to see how that sets up. We can potentially get a little downside going into the market open today and catch a little bit of action downside. SPY, let me pull it back up over here. SPY has a gap to fill to about 663.59. Let me go back over the trading view. 0.59, about there. So SPY probably has equilibrium not too much higher. Look, equilibrium is right above, right there as well. So you have same thing, right? Go grab that fib 50%, high to low, bring it over, boom. Look how that lines up perfectly right there as resistance. Mark that with our yellow line. Take this away, and there it is. Beautiful. Let me get rid of the VWAP because that's a little distracting from showing the gap. And then your gap on SPY, small gap from right there. So nothing too significant on SPY either. Just have that small gap fill right down here, closer to that 663.59. Q's gap looks a little bit larger. So see how that sets up. But for SPY, it's going to be around at 50%, probably up to the 665 cycle level. I have this zone from yesterday right here. So just overall resistance right up here in this area. If it can break and base above that, continue higher, get the move closer to 666.35, then back up closer to 667 shortly after that. So just going to carry over the same levels and zones from yesterday's price action to over here on SPY as it still applies. All of these zones that were here on this SPY chart, these gray zones that I drew, these were already here on the chart yesterday before market even opened up. And look how beautiful they worked. Rejections all morning yesterday on SPY. Came back down, just bounce, consolidation until it knifes underneath, bounce, consolidation, knifes underneath, went straight all the way down that entire freaking opening range, just like right here, just on SPY, and went straight down, bounced it, consolidated, and it held up into the close. So these same exact levels are still and zones are still applying here on SPY. So make sure you have these zones marked. You're going to have 4 zones, 662 up to about 663. I kind of pinpoint mine a little bit more to 662.34 to like 662.88. This one here is just around 665, give or take about 10-15 cents above and below that. Next zone's around 666 to 666.35 area, and then 667 to about 667.3. These are the 4 zones. I'm actually gonna screenshot that and post it over here. Downloads today, SPY. Same as yesterday. All right. And now let's, if you guys want me to look at anything here pre-market within the next 15 minutes, put it there in the chat. Good morning, good morning. I will bounce over there and check that as well. Go through this Webull watch list right here. A lot of things, again, just not any big moves. Apple's at 255. IWM is up 0.10%. Nothing. Tesla, small gap to fill downside. Looks like that. Very similar to Q's. Let me pull Tesla up over here. MU earnings after hours went a little brazy. Looks like option sellers are going to win that game. So you have Tessie. Look, Tessie's holding equilibrium right now. But you have a small gap to fill downside on Tessie right there as well. So underneath 427.70 area, Tesla does have a small gap to fill, potentially downside. And then some resistance up here near this 430 areas where that white line kind of takes it to. And that's kind of where Tesla's just stuck at right now. So 2 levels of mark on Tesla, 430 and 427.50. Get a break in base above 430. Looks good for potential continuation. Probably draw this trend line right here on Tesla that it's trying to currently break out of. Oh, look at this. That lines up almost damn near perfectly. Look at that. Let me screenshot this. Tesla. Got some trend lines right here pre-market, trying to break it to the upside. So if it can clear this little area here, go up here to 430. If it really starts to break and base above that, again, looks like good continuation upside. If it fails back underneath and breaks this bottom of the range and bottom of this pennant, you do have that gap to fill downside to that 426.40 area. But there it goes. Looking good there on Tessie. Someone said, can you look at Microsoft Evening Star on the daily? Let's see what we got. Go to Microsoft, go to the daily. Let's turn off this and let's remove any drawings and have a clear chart. Yeah, looking decent here. So tried to wick underneath and fail. They reclaimed. I do see your wonky evening star. That's right here. Absolutely. I see that. Drop it down to a 1 hour. There you go. So the evening star is formed within that price action. That's right there. So you'll see this is where the buyers are. Right there. You'll see that is exactly where Microsoft hit yesterday, going into power hour, and they shot it straight back up. And now it's back up right up here again to where potential sellers are, where this SR flip area happens at. Right there, here, and now that is right above. So I do think you have potential decision time here on Microsoft, closer to that 512 probably area, 511.50, and then mark down here near like 507. My algo just go long on SPY and QQQ. What's going on here? Oh, it's popping up a little bit. Yeah, nice. So yeah, I see what you're seeing there on Microsoft. So risk to reward up near that 511.50. I think it looks great to be looking for shorts. And then honestly, it needs to break and close underneath 507 on that larger time frame picture. And I think once that happens, you can start to get your move down closer to 503 and then 500. So closer to about here, and then 500 to 550 right there. So I do see that. Now if it does break and base above that, you can probably hit a trend line with these lower highs right there. So if it breaks and bases over top of that, does the SR flip, then it can invalidate a potential short and then be going upside. If it bounces here, bounces here, goes back up, retest, rejects, comes back down. If it does not double bottom, if that spot fails, then you can potentially, go downside. Or if it just ends up knifing, straight through it, say if it comes down here, knife straight through it, bounce up, reject, and then push it back down. So, I mean, multiple ways you can kind of draw it, but those are kind of the two scenarios that I'd be looking at for Microsoft. So, good eye. I like that one. We'll see how that sets up today. You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, Jesus. So many IONQ, SoFi, BBY, Starbucks, gold and silver. Oh my goodness. Nothing too much on gold and silver. They've just been running. They've been very, very strong. You can look at GLD and just GLD has just been in a run. I mean, if it gives any kind of, pull back down to, especially down here in this 335, but I mean, it's just, they're on a tear. It's just higher highs, higher lows, higher riding trends. Someone said SoFi. I mean, let's go look at it intraday. I mean, I own SoFi in the 12s. Just equity. I don't really like options on SoFi unless you're looking at like leaps. I mean, look at the weekly, first of all. Oh, look, here's my entry. Look, here's my entry on SoFi in the 12s. And it's absolutely ripping. As of right now, I mean, it is only Wednesday, but you do have a weekly shooting star. So, a little bearish there. Let me adjust this trend line right here. So, definitely would watch that trend line right there, and then watch. Where is my little rectangle? And then would watch this area here, right there. So if it breaks that trend line, comes down underneath, 28 bucks, can get that move down closer to 26.50. I think 26.50 could be a great bounce spot area, but if it does break that zone, $24.75, $25 psych level, I think that would be a great target downside if you are looking short, but also a great spot to see a bounce and see buyers kind of step in right there. Not the best daily candle, again, and not the best weekly candle so far. Still holding the trend of higher highs and higher lows. So, again, it's not bearish whatsoever. You could see it pull back down right here and then bounce and then go back up to these highs. So overall, your chart, you do have a clear trend of higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Could it come back down right here? 100%. Higher low, and then off of what is this 28.6 area, it can go back up and make another higher high. So overall, SoFi is still very, very much in an uptrend. I guess the question is, does it look exhausted on the larger time frame? Just from the previous sessions on how Monday ran up, pulled back a little bit. Mainly yesterday's price action is what pulled it down right here. That's the reason why the previous day candle and so far the weekly candle is red on SoFi. But again, I would just highlight that area right here, drag that over, watch that trend line. And I mean, this can be where buyers step in and take it higher. Now, if that spot then fails, then yes, you could see that move back down. So I would watch that on, I wonder what Casey, I have puts. I have puts on BBY. I like it for the short. I want to see it go from right there down to here, down to here, down to here. That would be fantastic. Go to your weekly. It is sitting and holding directly on the 9 and 21 EMAs here on the weekly. MACD is obviously still positive for these higher lows. You have to watch this trend line here. Pulling it to the upside. You are in a squeeze as of right now that was moving upside. It is now curling to the downside. So one of two things are going to happen. It's either going to break 71.63 and start that move downside and go hit that trend line. If it does hit that trend line and hit that next target that lines up right there, that would put my puts in the money because they're $70 puts. The daily, pull it up here, is underneath the EMAs. And get rid of these arrows. You'll see the daily 9, 21, and 200 all right up here, and that's where it rejected. So you have the weekly 9, or sorry, daily 9 and 21 sitting right up here, right at 74 bucks, and then that 200, which is that purple line, and that is running right up there near that level right there. So this is where I want it to stay underneath. Come back down here, hit this, and overall eventually hit this right here. If it does lose this low down here near the 7180 to 7160 area. Peep AMD. Let's go take a peep then. About to jump off here in just a few. Look at this. I mean, it's AMD. It's at the top of my zone. Let me break it down to a 4-hour. You'll see all there it is. Look, I've already charted this. Already charted it, baby. Already done did it. Already did the deed. You have your resistance and your supply zone right up here. You have your support and demand zone right up here. And then obviously like your midpoint area right here. So I've already charted AMD from that 149.40 area up to about the mid 150s and then to 163.40 area. As of right now, go to the intraday here. Drag that over. That's where AMD hit yesterday. Oh, now my algo just went short on the SPYs. Oh. None of that really kind of matters. It's pre-market. It's not coded for it. I just keep seeing the alerts that come up on here. For AMD, did it hit that to the penny? 163.41. What was high yesterday? 163.39. I was off by 2 cents. My bad. Off by 2 pennies on a $163 stock. Not bad. Very, very close. So watch this right here on the AM Dizzles right there. Got the zone right here. Got this trend line right here. So we'll see. You'll probably have a little bit of an SR flip area right there. It's around 161. So again, one of two things. They're going to break and base above that. And once it does the SR flip, whoopsies. Not the right, what did I just draw? A spider? ABC. If it can break and base above that, get out of that resistance zone, flip it to support and demand, that'd be fantastic for AMD, continue higher. AMD continues to reject, breaks this trend line here, bounces, if I take a guess, probably around the 160 cycle level, pushes it back up when they buy it off 160, rejects the underside of the trend line, 161, 160, 150, comes back down, does not bounce off the 160 area, and that fails, then it comes back down to the mid 150 areas. So this would be the two things that I would be watching on AMD. So again, it's very clear on a 4-hour chart. In my opinion, I think if you go to a 4-hour chart, you don't need anything else on your charts except for being able to see where all of the sellers and resistance is at up here and where the buyers and support is right down here. And it has been doing this since the beginning of September. This is the September chart and box overall that AMD is in. So every time it comes up here and rejects, risk to reward looks good for puts if sellers are still stepping in and pushing that price action back down. Only will I go long when you get a candle break and close, retest, and hold of that area. And then vice versa. Down here, demand your support zone. Comes all the way down here. If I'm short, that's where I'm going to be covering and taking a lot of my profit out. because this is where buyers can step in. If you're looking for longs, if you see buyers step in down there near that 150, 149 area on AMD, it's a great spot risk reward to go for longs. Only will go short underneath that. Again, if it breaks, closes underneath, they retest, reject, do the SR flip, and then it comes down and makes new lows. But that is so far what I have on AMD. So someone said volume up, please. I don't know, just turn your volume up. Turn your volume up louder so you can hear me. It's okay. It's the end of the pre-bell breakdown anyways, coming up on here. What's going on with HIMS? HIMS a little bit lower highs. HIMS looks like in the channel warner, if it breaks 55, can it go to 53? Let's take a Ganda. I mean, HIMS doesn't look the best right now. You got just a little bit of the lower highs. You got support that's right down here. So if I had to take a guess, it's going to line up where your 55 that you're talking about is right there. So I do see what you're talking about right there. Hey, look, he just drew the same thing I did. Let's go, King Faces. You just drew the same trend line I did for the lower highs. I just did it on a 30-minute. Here, let's put it on the 15. There's what King Faces just drew. King Faces just drew the same thing. Let's go. So you got that resistance. That's just kind of right up there as well. So I would say watch those 3 levels. You're welcome, Susie. I would watch those 3 levels right there on HIMS, 55, 57, 59. 57 in that trend line kind of being your neutral area as of right now. If it can break and base above that, it'll go to the 59 area, be great target upside, and then sellers can potentially be waiting up there. But if it continues to reject 57, if it does come down to 55 and they do not buy, sellers take control and buyers are not stepping in right here, if it does break underneath that and it does retest and reject, it can come down and make that next lower low. So you do have 2 things to potentially be watching here on the HIMTHs. He said, great minds think alike. Yes, sir. All right. SPY, QQQ, IWM, Tesla, AMD, BBY, HIMS. I think we got a little bit of things covered here. I think we do have earnings for... We have earnings for Costco tomorrow. I'm not sure if there's anything significant today on the earnings calendar. I'll have to go check that here in a second. Just quickly going through more of the watch list right here before I jump off. Google, 0.11%. Absolutely nothing going on there. Amazon had a really rough day yesterday. Amazon went from like 228 down to 220 cycle level yesterday. And I believe if you draw the fib from swing high to swing low of that price action yesterday, the 50% is probably going to put it around, what, 224-ish, 224.60 if you want to do by the penny. And equilibrium seems to be, if you go look at Amazon pre-market right now, that seems to be where it's at. And that'll just be the last thing that I cover real quick before I jump off. Go here on Amazon. I mean, absolutely got obliterated yesterday. Let's see. Well, that's from this morning pre-market. I don't need you to draw that one. I want to draw yesterday's. From high to low. 224.35. So very, very close. So it's right up here. So just watch that area right up here. on Amazon, but I mean, it did not have a good day yesterday. I'd imagine that daily candle's disgusting. Yeah. Amazon, I mean, out of a lot of tech names right now, Amazon does not look fantastic. If it breaks, I mean, I think 220, 218 is a great spot to be looking for potential longs down here. You'll see big reactions happen off of this area right here. So would really like to see them continue to hold it up. You can probably hit a trend line right here just with these lower highs. So I'd just be watching watching that on the Amazonians. Watch the trend line break. If it can, so for Amazon, for me, if I want to long Amazon, it needs to push back up and break in base above 225. I'll just go ahead and say that. That'll be my call, my kind of call trigger-ish area right there. If it can break in base above this trend line in 225, I go long Amazon. Until then, it is a short. Every single time it continues to come up here and reject back down to 220 and 218. Very, very simple. I'll just leave it at that. So, all right. Appreciate everyone who tuned in to the Pre-Bail Breakdown episode 5 here on the YouTube channel and onto the X live stream. Please give it a like and repost if you're here on X. People can go watch this recording real quick before market opens up. It is record and save to both of my channels. That way we can review this later on and see how things end up playing out. Do the whole nice little before and after. So about 1,300 people tuning into this nice little session this morning, a little half-hour pre-bail breakdown. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. We will be doing the next episode probably Friday. I got to get with the guys on Spaces and see if they're doing the wolf trading on the YouTube channel. So if so, I'll do the pre-bail breakdown the morning of Friday and then jump over to that one shortly after when I'm done. So we'll probably do pre-bail breakdown episode number 6 on Friday morning. We'll see how the market is setting up for the end of the week and see what things are looking good to potentially be looking at swings over the weekend into next week. So we'll cover that on Friday morning on Pre-Bail Breakdown episode number 6. So love you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your trading day. Premium Discord team, I will be transferring the live stream over there in just a few minutes for the live trading session for the day. If you would like to come hang out with our Premium Discord team, you can go to my profile on X. There's a link there, and my link tree shows you where to go to the Discord. And then if you want to get premium Discord access where I'm live trading and sharing my trades myself and all my alert analysts every single day, that link is right up there on the screen as well. But it is also in my X bio. It'll take you to our Discord where I'm going to be live streaming and live trading every day. You can get a 7-day free trial. And you can also use code KC50 for $50 a month. Forever reoccurring. It's a reoccurring discount code every single month, $50. Less than $2 a day. Get to come hang out with myself, multiple other alert analysts for options and futures, day trade, swing trade. A couple thousand members in here where we live stream and trade and have fun every single day. So